So we're going to start our next panel on trading platforms. We're going to talk about the challenges between front ends and back ends. And as I would like first, obviously, to introduce ourselves. And as we progress through the session, I hope you guys will have some questions, and we'll have some time for questions in the end. So I'm Rutkovskaya, Chief Revenue Officer at Yours, the provider of trading technology for brokers and the brand behind the FX Dealer Academy. So thank you, everyone, for joining the event today, and thank you for being very active participants of this community overall. And today I am joined by these wonderful speakers, and I would like you guys to introduce yourselves quickly.
Hi, I'm Jerniv. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for ATFX and former founder and CEO of FXDA.
I'm Aytugan, so I'm a CEO of FastMT, service provider, and founder as well. I used to work in brokerage like Alpari. I used to work for some time for MetaQuotes, and now I'm helping the broker with technical setup.
Oh, I have another one.
Oh. Yes,
Hey everyone, I'm Valter. I'm CEO at Yours, and I used to be a CTO in brokerage.
Hey, I'm Matej. I'm the co-founder and CTO in TradeLocker.
Wonderful, thank you. So we have people using platforms, building platforms, people who used to build platforms, etc., on the panel today. So I hope that their expertise will be of use for you guys. So join in for the discussion. So we're going to start with the reasoning behind why and how brokers usually choose platforms. Yours, as the technology provider, we have our own trade server, which is the trading platform backend, and we see a lot of different trends in the industry, which we can discuss today as well. So first, I want to ask you, obviously we know that brokers more often than not, they follow the users, the traders' demand. Whatever traders want, that's what brokers going to introduce as a platform. What are other reasons, or what are other reasoning behind choosing or changing a platform that you've seen over the years, or something that's happening right now?
I can start if you sorry. So just based on my experience, first of all, I believe it's very different from broker to broker, and it really depends on the size of the broker. So if you're doing startup, you do not have like enough capacity, let's say, to have your own trading platform, right? Let's say with backend and even front end, because like back in the days, it was very expensive. Okay, maybe now it's a bit cheaper because of this AI, etc. And of course, it depends what you want to build, what kind of quality. But it really depended on the size of the broker, and depends someone can say the ideal way if you start like from small brokerage and you planning to be like a biggest one in the world. Like logical way is to start with something outsourced, let's name it like this, and eventually build your own product, be like independent or little house, etc. But again, it's not, I don't think it's like straightforward for everyone, straight like this, because it depends what you're trying to achieve. And maybe sometimes if you're thinking about building your own platform, it means you can be not so flexible if you use, let's say, some outsource, let's say you have like trade server, which has like open API. It's much more flexible. I mean, you can connect your own front end, you can connect someone else front end, etc., etc. So this is, I think there are many factors, and the main question, like what you want to achieve finally, what kind of services you want to offer to your clients, and maybe, and actually one thing, technical thing, is about capabilities of the platform, like. If you do, let's say, if you plan to do only Forex and CFDs, it's one question, right? If you want to go to these like exchange stocks, options, etc., it's absolutely different thing. If you want to like merge all together, it's much more advanced story. Mm-hmm. So,
I think that like having like, when I started FXM in '99, and you had to build our own platform because there was no other platform. And everybody at the time, Saxo, CMCO, had their own platform. And that is a pain in the ass that should not be repeated by anyone, because to build it is easy, to maintain it and keep up with it is not good, And I think you lose a lot of flexibility. And we had one saving grace that we could, and I think, brokers are rightfully so client obsessed. Where the client is, you go follow because, if we look at the pie chart of where brokers spend their money, client acquisition is where we spend most of the money, right? So everything, really brokers think through a client acquisition lens pretty much for 99% of decisions, risk management being the other 1%, And I think that's kind of the overriding decision. So the one thing about, having a back end that can have multiple front ends is because you can go cater to different groups of clients. I think that's kind of the attraction. I think that's all what everyone wants to do today. But I think that the biggest thing I would say is that people need to be careful, right? Like, okay, I want to do client acquisition, but we want to be good, but we don't want to be perfect, right? And where we go down the rabbit hole is trying to be perfect. That's where things get very messy, and especially when you have your own in-house team, you think because you're their boss, I can make it the way I want it, and that's always a distraction. And a lot of times we don't ask ourselves what is necessary versus what is cool,
I would say one part that we didn't mention is the ecosystem. Basically, traders want like different trading journals, copy traders. So which platform supports that? Because traders are used to using some of these tools. Okay, which platform supports it? Also, for you as a broker, is this differentiating factor for you? If every broker has the same platform, like how are you competing? How are you different than any other broker? Are also like the interface of the platform, is it more for experienced traders, or you're more attracting traders that are just starting their journey, so it's not that overwhelming for them? I think those are, I can go on and on, but...
Yeah, I just want to add, I remember the times when Drew mentioned that how platforms start. I remember like IG platform, for example, in Europe, it started like a chat, without charts, without anything, and it was much better than calling these guys in London. So right now, you look, you have by trading platform, you actually see a lot of different things. You need basically some UI to make trades. Then you also need to you see some charting. Then you need to have some social part, because you might be not doing trade by yourself, so you might follow someone. Then you need to, you can use like some money management features. Then you need to have some, some feed with the data, some feed with news, whatever events. Then you need to have some, do some analysis. And the problem is that all clients, a lot of different chunks of clients which are completely different. So one platform will, for specific client, will fit this client, but will not fit another client. So I mean that is absolutely not possible to make a platform which would fulfill every client. So it is absolutely, so like make the T-shirt which will fit all the people. So it is not possible, and I think that's why we have see so many platforms on the market, and it is each platform should have its own purpose for specific users, for specific generation of users. Because what Matej is doing and what platform 20 years ago started, I think it's for different generations of clients. So, and these should be considered when deciding which platform to choose. And what also Drew mentioned, and I've seen such examples when broker want to make his own platform. It's indeed it's a rabbit hole that you can go in and never come back. You can forget about your client acquisition. So the role of the broker is to make the trader happy. It's not about to decide where I put this button, and which color this button should have. So I think it is important to understand like that the player on the market should have his own role. It should have his own focus. It's very easy to lose this focus.
Just one obvious thing when they're choosing platform, of course, the pricing of the platform is something that I look at. We didn't mention that, but yeah.
That's a good one. Actually, Aytugan made a very good point that the main idea is to keep the traders happy, but we have a lot of dealers in this room. So how can a broker keep the traders happy while keep the dealers happy as well, if that's even possible? Meaning, what should a broker look at when deciding whether they should take that new platform on or change a platform or whatever, from the operations perspective? What are the usual challenges and things we should take into consideration?
I think it's very, the first sentence, like, it will be similar to traders. I mean, first of all, you cannot feed everyone, like, right? So one dealer likes this platform, another dealer experienced with another one, etc., and they just prefer to stay with this. So of course you need to, like, if, let's say, if you change platform or if you add one more platform, of course you need to spend time for learning to make, similar mistakes you did in the past already. I mean, your dealing team, etc. So to manage these things. But for dealing, I believe it's important to have tools like they can use, and it should be like as much as possible native, like simple, right? To get some data, to like on previous panels they told like about all these numbers and analytics, right? So platform should have those tools as well, and it should work like how to say, it should be easy to get, like, to press the button to get report very quickly, and you know what to do, etc., to make some action. And of course, like some other tools, like to handle risk, for example, to, I don't know, like features.
Should it be part of the platform though, or
It depends what kind of tools, because some tools you cannot like do on the platform if you use, let's say, breach on top of it, right? And like you send everything to the breach. And for example, like very simple example, like you send trade to the breach to a book, you don't see like liquidity provider price, right? Which only breach sees this. So yeah, some tools has to be on the breach, but some tools still on the platform, like, because platform has usually, like all the platforms, I believe, it has information about client, like, I don't know, some country, whatever, like profile maybe, etc., etc. So, yeah.
I think that the one thing I would say is that a retail platform should be, like you said, keep the retailer person happy. There's enough tools today to keep the dealers happy. As long as the platform can connect to those tools, I don't think that should be the role of the platform itself. I think the platform just be, robust enough that you can get information in and out of it really fast. But I think to develop, you can't specialize in everything, right? And I think that retail platforms, to do well, need to specialize in clients, because the brokers, at the end of the day, the dealers, are second priority after marketing, and it doesn't, at the end of the day, you need clients. And so that is the primary reason why you're taking the platform. So the risk management just has to be workable. There's plenty of tools today. There's plenty of practices. At the end of the day, no matter what people say, 90-something% of the volume is be-booked anyway. So I think there is, not as much as people like to say, well, there's lots of stuff going on, but, not really. I think the client part's more important.
Actually, I quickly want to add, yeah, I agree, like there are many tools already, but you have to be sure, like, and I believe most of the platforms are like already integrated or easily integrated with all those tools, but like before you choose, you have to make sure. And this is one more, like, let's say, point to choose like third-party platform, not to build your own, because most of them already integrated with all those tools or like easily integrated.
Yeah, I cannot like right now, all like clients, they are trading with multiple brokers and multiple platforms. So so there are like a lot of surveys. It's not like how it was like 20 years before when the users stick to one platform. No, so they trade with many platforms, and the same happening like with brokers as well. So when you should not think about single platform. There should be like multiple, like platforms in your like in your operations, and shouldn't think if you have another one, it should be also compatible, as like Valter mentioned, with all of your systems.
I would say basically same, as there is no maybe platform that fits all. Each basically dealing desk is different. You need to give them the API that they can plug into their tools. All of them created either their Excel spreadsheets, whatever. Basically, you need to give them the data that they can pull this. They need to have the confidence in the platform to check anything in the real time. And I think these days are pretty exciting for them. They could get a lot of analysis on everything they're doing through usage of AI. Basically, they can ask any question to the platform, what is happening, give me any breakdowns, it's right there.
Yes, I just want to add one important thing that I just like when you choose the platform, think like the real things happening when you already build your configuration, and then you decide, okay, I need to change that, and this is where the challenge came. So you should think how platform will accommodate your transition, like from one configuration to another. So this is really important, and when you talk here to the vendors, ask that as well, because in some cases, in some platforms, yeah, like we creating like own tools to transition to do the changes in like from like let's say point A to point B.
Just to continue on that thought, what are the other questions that you as the infrastructure provider would ask a trading platform, just to make sure that whichever platform a broker is adding to their product suite, the user experience from the latency perspective, execution speed, etc., stays the same, or at least as close to what it used to be as possible?
I think it kind of, I will not answer this question because in reality we have a much simpler question. For example, like what challenges we have in request right now. For example, you have like a broker. Broker have some, some running some like entity with some license, and they by the regulation change, they evolve, they open another jurisdiction, and you transition one client from one platform to another one, and this platform need to be separate. So, and this is, I think, a lot of where like platform providers, they don't think about that. They think that these clients will be forever with this like on this server or whatever, but it will not. So eventually, so they say, okay, we have this like this license, like Mauritius license, they need to migrate into, I don't know, like to Seychelles license, and then like so like part of these clients need to go here, part of the clients need to go there. And when platform providers, like I think they never thinking about such cases, and it's like then you have like symbol changes, you have symbol name changes, it's happening. Yes, you have for example, like digits, decimals changes, it's also happening. Like you have like then you can have like LP connections changes as well. So all of these things need to be accommodated with the platform. And yeah, and sometimes so that it's about like the whole like life cycle. So when you will choose the platform provider, think like how like think about the past and think like how you will do these things.
Comment on the infrastructure?
Yeah. Regarding the infrastructure, basically, it's I think it's like kind of like it's like the Wi-Fi. Like you open like your phone, and it should just work. When you press the button, the order should go. So like if people expect this happen instantly, so it's not about like you should have it or not. It must. It is a must for the all like platform providers to have like a low latency execution, to have reliable connectivity, to have minimum downtime, to reduce maintenance work as less as possible, and like to not like upset your clients.
And how do you do that? How do you achieve it? Valter.
Me?
I know you know.
It's like, to be honest, not very complicated. I mean, it's some application, right? And like me, for example, we as like platform developers, of course, we know like what hardware we need for our trade server, etc. We put this on the whatever like user guide. So, and it's all about, first of all, the most important is reliability. Like when you think about hardware, like there are many things. Like it's not only about like how expensive you have to buy CPU, etc. It's about reliability. You need to choose like proper, I don't know, hosting providers, network providers. You need to think about your backup and how it works, your backup. I mean, sometimes it can be just cold backup, and to switch to backup, let's say your main data center is down, to switch you need like 1 hour, but someone need to switch like maybe instantly, which is much better, of course. So we need to think about it, how it will work. In terms of performance, it's like another question. It depends what you're trying to achieve. Yes, if you want like, again, like if you have startup and you're looking for trade platform for like real HFT trading, like you should expect you will spend a lot of money for this, right? For and hardware and trading platform, etc. So maybe you don't need this solution. Look to another cheaper solution. Yeah, but if you have like exact, I don't know, target and you need some real, performance, etc. So we need to look into this and to find trading platform which will fit your requirements. It's like you say, like every trade, like every solution is for different type of, I don't know, task, etc. Yeah.
I think the most important thing when it comes to this is that if you look at, because we are so client acquisition obsessed, we wrote $1 million check to some rando influencer in Brazil. There's no committee meeting about this. No one even talked about it. They're like, okay, you deserved it. You brought us 1,000 clients. They paid all this money. Here's $1 million. If the same people said, oh, we wrote a $20,000 check to some, the developer, right? There would be heart failure. 20 people would be in the meeting. How do we spend $20,000 on this? How do we never spend this money ever again? And I think that we're online companies, right? But we don't pay enough attention. If you look at a good example, a benchmark to Robinhood, what is the percentage of revenue spent on technology is way higher, right, than we are as an industry spending on things. So, for example, a lot of dealing things, there's a lot of angst about dealing because we trade CFDs, but nobody knows, people I don't think appreciate. 0.0 something percent of our clients, 0.01% of our clients have a futures feed that costs them about $50 a month, okay? And 90% of FX dealers do not have a futures feed, on the desk. So you're trading, S&P 500, and you're using, IG's S&P 500 price instead of saying, no, but the S&P 500 comes from the CME, and nobody has a CME price, but the customers do, and with AI, that number is going to grow 20-fold because it's going to be able to have more people because they're going to use now, Claude to analyze instead of be imprisoned inside a technical analysis screen. You can bring 5 feeds from different places, different analysis into it. AI is going to murder, all this stuff. So people need to spend money on super fast feeds, right, from exchanges. When we're doing an exchange instrument, we have to spend, and that's a lot of money. Because the exchange charges $50 for individual user. You try to get that feed, it costs thousands of dollars, right? And not just that, but like I know, for example, I've done consulting for a broker. This broker has like hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue, okay? Most of the clients are in Asia. The 1-0 bridge is in New York, and the LPs are in London, right? And they're like, no, it's fine. It works. It's been working for years, And I'm like, yeah, of course it works for years because we're not e-booking most of the clients. And so the client journey is going to the moon and back, is fine, right? Because when we're B-booking it, if you have to A-book any percentage of that flow, right, this would be a colossal disaster, right? And that's the kind of stuff, like infrastructure-wise, we are not, paying attention to. As the clients are going to get more sophisticated, right, that is going to be a must to spend real money on real things, right? And those things are, be it the location of the hardware, the feeds that come into the platforms, not even necessarily the platforms themselves. But there's lots of stuff that goes into it. Even if we're not using futures to price our clients, we still need a futures feed to come into the desk so the desk can see here is the spot equivalent rate of what the CME is actually showing, in the depth and the volume, right? That, again, anybody can see for $50 a month, and most dealers don't see, right? Which is sad, right? But I think it goes into, most dealers don't watch the institutional FX market, yet we are, living in that world. And so those things, I think there's a lot of money to be spent that needs to be spent. And because we've been able to B-book most of our stuff, it's just been unnecessary. There was no point in it, right? It would be like a random stupid expense to do right now, right? Yeah, you have better information, but it's a waste of money. I don't think in the future it's going to be a waste of money. I think if you don't have it, you're screwed.
Maybe just shortly. I mean, yeah, there is a lot of complexity there. What we are aiming is that we take away that complexity. We are going to be ensure that every client, wherever we are in the world, okay, you can have, of course, you need to be close to the exchange, close to liquidity providers for the execution. But basically, there's also a point, there is, even if it's, for example, let's say in London, you have traders from India, from Australia, from South America. How do you ensure that their experience is near the same, that everything loads for them, charts and everything in the same speed? So there's a lot of the things there. But what we are doing is take away that complexity. We are software as a service. We do all the cloud, make sure that it's uptime and everything. So, yeah.
Thank you. And continue on the technology providers and how this is done today. We see a lot of consolidation in a way in that space. So we see trading platforms, adding bridges, building platforms, and vice versa, and all these kind of things going on. Do you think it's a good idea? It's a trend that's going to stay there. Do you think it's a good idea for a broker to use a platform, a bridge, and the risk management tool, for example, from one provider, or should they diversify? What's your take on it?
I would say it's tempting, especially these days, to go out in any other field. And okay, we are a trading platform. For us to build a CRM, to build a bridge or anything like that, it's tempting, but then you lose what you're the best at. I think it's better to specialize and be like really the best in your space rather than expanding and then being average in each of these components. Use multiple different, you're gonna have as a broker more flexibility to change any components. So basically, yeah, the short answer is I think it's better to specialize and be really good at one thing rather than like try to cover everything.
I want to add, like, it has some like benefits and not. I agree, like when you put like all the eggs, in one place, you have one point of failure. But from other side, it's about ecosystem, as you said. Like if you have everything in one place, it's all like working fine. It's like you can have some benefit from this. Yeah.
Comment?
Yeah, just from the startup broker's perspective, to have everything in one place to start, it's very good, because otherwise, like, you even imagine how like to pass through the contractual and KYC with each provider, you can kill yourself and then forget about your broker. If you have, I don't know, like 10 tech providers. From the other side, you cannot really do everything at once, like because you must focus on something. And I also like want to say, like, when it is important to decide what you will do, And it's also equally important to decide what you will not do, because what you will do, you getting clients. It brings you clients, and what you are not doing could bring you partners, because there is no competition and conflict of interest with your partners if they understand that you will not go to that territory.
Okay, we're going to be wrapping up now. The final question. If you were starting a brokerage today, what will be the one principle in terms of technology that would you be making an absolute must? One thing. Matej, you want to start?
I need to think about it a bit.
Okay, Drew, I know you have ideas, so you go first.
No, I think it starts, someone said it before, find out is what is the reason someone is going to choose me? And focus the tech only on this. There's lots of stuff we want to get perfect. Wish you had the perfect this and a perfect this, and it will, of course, if we get all the components perfect, it'll be great. But we want to spend all our money should be spent on our energy, spent on what is our competitive advantage for real of why someone's going to pick me, because there's 2,000 brokers out there, right? And then focus all the energy on that, right? And I think all the other stuff can be good enough. It's not great that it's good enough, but it can be. But your competitive advantage has to be the absolute best. And I think that you have to focus, we're online trading companies, you have to focus that on what it is. And so it matters, are you an IB focused company? Are you organic client focused company with marketing? Are you doing beginner, traders, or is more experienced traders? Which region of the world? All of those things really matter. So you want to focus the tech on what is, why should Mr. Klein pick you, right? And not, I think, like answering 1,000 other questions only leads to cost and confusion, and then we lose the reason why, somebody, picks us. And I think it's a really important, element of the business. And not enough people are asking a question, and then we get lost, right? We sit in endless meetings at work, discussing all these details and all this, why isn't this better, why isn't this better? And yeah, it's a good question, but is it the most important question? No. And we spend 10% of our time on the most important things because we end up fighting fires, and all the stuff. So I think a lot of it is just, if you had to choose one, you say, okay, why are clients choosing me? Then that is the part that you have to be, and it's a different answer, obviously for different people, right? There's people that bring their clients because they're single share CFD focused, and they don't monetize that, but that's how they bring the clients. There's people that, crypto is how they do it. There's people, IBs is how they do it. There's 100 answers out there, and the tech needs to respond to that primarily.
Yeah, I really like this one. So I agree, like you need to choose like based on what you're planning to do. So trading platforms should fit your plans, your requirements, right? And I want to add just maybe not very obvious thing. You need to think a bit about how difficult it will be switch in the future. If you just start in broker and you do it for the first time and you choose something. If you choose this one, after 1 year you realize it was a bad decision and you need to go to another one, but you realize you have back office integrated, like CRM, this and that, and I don't know, some tools coded in Delphi or whatever, which cannot be changed, something like this. So you need to think is it easier then to switch, to choose some other product and integrate my tools, which I have already, etc.
Yep. Basically, I would pick which tools first, which one of them will help me make more money, attract more clients, what is going to be my competitive edge if I'm using tool A versus tool B. So I think Drew summarized, and then basically what is your target audience? Are these younger traders, more experienced traders? And then at the end of the day, if you're starting a brokerage, you already have some community, you already have your target audience. Go and ask them, basically, which trading platform do you prefer, which CRM or anything like that. So basically, they will tell you, hey, I'm really using this copy trader, this is really important for me. Then go and see which platform supports this copy trader, anything like that. speak with your target audience.
Yeah, I just want to add, when you start the broker, you should think how to make clients happy, not about your operation excellence, not about how you good as making tools or how you good as choosing tools. Everything should be done with a purpose, and the purpose is to make client happy. And of course, to bring you some money at the end, because otherwise you will not be able in 3 months to make more clients happy. Yes, so everything should be done with, some like common sense. And when you start, don't overcomplicate. Try to do as much as think as possible, as make it simple, and don't also think like when people like from operational experience they start at brokers, so they tend to have a lot of tools. I mean, to buy straight away, and they find and they need to hire more people to work with these tools instead of just selling more.
Thank you very much. We have some time for questions, if you have any. Do we have any questions? Go ahead.
Everyone wants to come and join the dinner, sorry for that. But I wanted to briefly ask opinions, since we've got both brokers and platforms here. How do you make a choice between attributed and white label solution?
That's a good one. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, basically we get asked a lot of times, can we do the white label? And for us, it's more basically then you lose this power of, if you have white label, then traders don't know. Is that your competitive edge, that you have this trading platform that's your own, that they are not sure, they don't know the reviews, or is it good or not, versus if you have like some established platform that you know and that it works with all of these other third-party tools. This is, I would say, competitive edge.
Well, I always say for the platform guy, if the white label guy he's about to do is going to get him banned on Apple iStore, the platform guy wants to be the broker brand, not the platform brand, so it doesn't happen to what happened to MetaQuotes, right? A bad client got them banned from the iStore. And I think that is an issue. But I think that most brokers, even though the right answer is, if you're a B-Book shop, your valuation is no more than 5 times earnings. Okay? You can have lots of technology, you can own all of it, and you will still not get more than 5 times earnings because that your risk profile is such, right? And so it is one of those things where, but most people don't think, oh no, my company would be worth more if I had my own tech. Yes, if you didn't have market risk, if you don't have this, if there is lots of other things that go into it. I think most brokers don't ask, those questions, but obviously, big firms, that's really where when is it really worth to have an identity where I have my own platform? When I'm eToro, yes. For eToro, it really benefited. Why? Because eToro took a route where it's sort of, even though they do make money from risk, they hit it under crypto, they hit it under stocks, brilliantly done, right? And they are worth 20 times earnings, And so I think that's like one of those things. There's lots, but that's very much an exception. It's in this, industry, right? There's very few firms manage that, transition. And I think that's a very important, issue is does it enhance the value of the company, right? And in our business, we are a client acquisition business. If it enhances client acquisition, it's good. If it doesn't, it's bad. Why? Because the IP benefit only comes into play if we change business models, which it's not financially worth to change business models unless you're right before a listing and you're that size and you've got a lot of other things going for you. And I think that having gone through an IPO and all that stuff myself, it's not worth it until you get to a much bigger thing. I mean, FXDA went public, it had like a 300 million in revenues, and if I had to do that over again, it would be $1 billion before you even thought about it. Right, and I think so. It's not worth to have and that was my point. We spent enormous amount of money on a platform, and there was no benefit to it whatsoever.
I would say that also one thing to add is about the trust. If you are having your white label, this is the first time they're seeing the platform, that they trust it, that it works, that basically they can be confident in every decision. If you're using some of the platforms that are already established, there is an element of trust that basically traders then know, okay, this platform really works, it's been out there, they can see reviews that it's good.
Any other questions? Yes, please go ahead.
Considering the fact that the trading infrastructure and accessibility for retail traders getting like more and more easier for everyone to be a trader, just open the phone and you're a trader. Now, do you think that the real stocks and bonds and these classic brokers are putting now recently or in the future strategically an existential threat to the CFD FX kind of brokers, or you think that they can survive together in the future? Yes.
I think that you're seeing for the first time how someone like was able to take, I make most of my money from CFDs, but I hide behind the fact I'm an exchange traded broker, and we're now a big enough industry that people can say, hey, you know, the exchange traded brokers can actually say, oh, you know, there's enough money for us to go into this thing, right? So do you think that the big crypto firms, the big, like the Robin Hoods of the world, right, in whatever country they're from, are going to come into this industry? That is a guarantee that is coming in the next few years, right? And because it started, right, and it's a question of it's starting on the margins, but like they're all coming because there's enough money. This industry has grown to enough times where that is the case. You know, like when I remember going 2008 to sell, you know, FXDA white labeled, you know, to like Charles Schwab and E-Trade. They're looking at me like, what is this stupid thing? What was FX? What the fuck? You know, and a lot of it was we're trying to sell them something and say, oh, you could make hundreds of millions of dollars of it. Yeah, they're making 20 billion. They don't care, you know. But now someone thinks they can make a few $1 billion, right? They are coming for sure, right? Because there's more money, LTV, right? For the reasons we all know, right? It wasn't noticeable enough, so I think we have to take it for granted, which is why I'm saying we have to up our game, right, as an industry, because the people that are coming have already have 100 million clients, already have a brand that's way bigger, already have, you know, 2,000 people doing technology, you know, like that is for sure coming, you know. And I think that's not and you have to think, like I've been saying this a lot, you have to say, if I woke up tomorrow and my two biggest brands in our industry that you're afraid of the most, okay, were owned now by Binance or Robinhood or, you know, like one of those companies with infinite resources, how would you feel, right? And that's what we have to set ourselves to compete against that, because that is what's coming.
Is it even possible to compete with those?
Yeah, of course it's possible, because a big company, by the fact that they're a big company, going to be very disciplined about what is their USP and who they're going to focus on, and they're going to leave a million niches uncovered, right? Whereas, you know, most you know, brokers have a mom and pop kind of feel to them, and they say, oh, there's $10 million here. We have to, the whole company is now distracted to go after this $10 million if it's a $200 million company. You know, like big companies don't think that way, they just ignore, right? So they give lots of room. That's how this industry started, right? Because these people didn't care about it, right? And I think there's enormous amount of room, there's enormous amount of potential for people to be acquired and make lots of money doing that. You know, and I think that, you know, just to give you an example, I had a consulting client of mine that there was a private equity, it bought Ninja Trader for $100 million in 2019, okay? And this is it's a great platform, but it was a dinky little futures broker, you know, and they sold to Kraken for $1.8 billion last year, you know? And I thought, oh my God, this is like the best deal that I've done in the last 10 years. What a bunch of suckers who pay $1.8 billion for it. That is going to be a $20 billion company inside Kraken probably in the next 5 years. You know, suckers they are not. you know, because that's what they're going to take those resources and that brand, going to make it much, much bigger, right? So I think there's a lot of room to be the next Ninja, you know, for people, but there's also, you have to compete with the next Ninja too, you know.
Anyone else wants to take this one? Do we have any more questions? No? We're good? Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, speakers. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah. We're going to have a little announcement, so you can stay for a couple minutes. And now I'm happy to introduce our new program director, Marios Kyriakou, who has heaps, welcome, who has heaps of experience in the area, and he will be managing the program, and he will be your point of contact. He will be the host for our sessions, etc. Marios, if you can say a couple of words about yourself.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for your trust, for putting me into this role, basically. I feel that it will be a great experience working with you, working with this team. It's an amazing team, by the way. The only thing that I can say is that I will strive to bring value to it. I mean, value for clients, value for prospective clients as well, for the people who really want to learn. As we saw from the panel as well, there is, let's say, a lack of knowledge on the basics of dealing as well. We've seen the examples with CME, for example. We really want to bring the knowledge needed to thrive in this function, yeah, of our brokers function, which is basically dealing, and you know, we're handling complex products, a complex industry, I would say. So we will. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know Marius will deliver, because Marius is also training and learning specialist manager at Jobber, so he takes care of all the training in the company, makes sure that everyone understands exactly how the platform, the products work. So thank you so much, Marius.
Thank you.
And we also wanted to announce some winners of, well, winners as in most active participants of our community. As you know, we have a big group on Telegram with more than 500 people. We have meme competitions there. We have discussions on the topics about what's going on in the market. And we have a lot of people who are very, very active there. So we want to celebrate them today. And we have small gifts. And the three most active community members are Vladislav Rumyantsev, if he's here. Come on in. Oh, right. Go straight. Okay, I have two more names. Kyriakos Grigorio, is he here? Come on, Kyriakos, I know you're here. Maybe not. Okay, we're gonna send the gift to him then. And Antonis Paniotis.